Welcome to Crossroads. I'm your host, Joshua Phillip. Today we have with us Ray Gilbride. He's the president and CEO of We Speak. And it's a social media platform based around free speech, and we're here to talk about free speech. So Ray, real pleasure having you on the show. Thank you.
Pleasure to be here.
So tell us a bit about your platform and what you're hoping to do.
Well, the platform was designed to balance the scales right now. A lot of the people do not have free speech because they're censored. If it doesn't match the permissions of the platform they're on, they simply block it out or don't let it share. Well, that was frustrating because the idea of free speech is that everybody can talk about their opinions and their ideas and get it out there. So what we decided to do is build a platform that made sure people had that right. So now anybody can come on our platform, and we don't censor that. We give the censoring ability to the families who use it. We have end user controls, so people can say things. If you don't like it, block it off your system so it doesn't come across your site.
Great. And so I know there's a few different ideological battles taking place on various social media platforms. Of course, the big ones, Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, they all tend to censor people, and they tend to censor people who are conservative. Some of those they censor, not conservatives necessarily, are people who probably have it coming, being jerks. A lot of them do not have it coming. A lot of them, either it's double standards where people doing the same thing on the other side don't get anything happening to them. And people who are on the side that they don't like end up being the ones kicked off the platforms. And what we're having is this kind of this choking out of opinion, this choking out of dialectic debate, the ability of people of different viewpoints to come together on a platform and discuss. And I think the other problem we have on some of the conservative, or I shouldn't say conservative, some of the free speech platforms is that people, yes, hate speech is not a real law, right? Hate speech is not law. It's not law. Even though it's enforced by some platforms, it's not law. But, it's nice to hang around people with generally good manners and who can have nice, pleasant conversation. And sometimes when people are on the platform that says free speech, they say, great, I just throw out my ethics, get out of here, ethics. And it creates kind of an unpleasant environment. And so how are you approaching these issues with your platform?
Well, to get on our platform and use it, we're pretty simple. We have our user definitions and our policies you have to go with and whatnot. But basically we have four things. Is what you're about to say or post family safe? Does the average family know that they're going to be safe? Their kids are not going to be scarred by what you put on there. Is it honest? And if you're going to be honest. If what you're going to post, if you're going to post a news article or something about somebody, is it safe and is it honest? And then does it have character? And is it respectful? And if you can say yes to those four areas, you'll never have a problem with us. But if you fall short in those, well, then we'll have a problem. And we won't censor what you say, we'll just block your IP address.
There you go. So what you're talking about is a platform made for more traditionally valued people.
Exactly.
And that's unique. That's different, of course, from absolute free speech, because you do have some standards of what people can or can't say. But it's also a solution, I think, to the platforms that do tout absolute free speech, where you have really some people who make people like me not want to go on there, to be honest.
There's some even though
I don't like the other platforms either. It's a difficult position to be in.
Well, and the rub is this: we all have free speech, but your right to say something that's going to hurt or scar my family, that's beyond your point, in my opinion. Now, there may not be a law that says you can't say that, but I can certainly make a platform where, as the end user, I can make sure what you say doesn't reach my kids. That's why we don't have to censor it. We give the people, I feel the people are mature enough to understand what they want their children to see and what they don't want to see. So I relinquish that to you.
Great. And so when is your platform launching? How's it going?
Platform's already up. It's running, and it's just skyrocketing. This weekend has been tremendous. We have full-fledged family areas on there. We have full-fledged campaign areas on there. We have news, both local, national, and global news. We have where we vet people to go on and explain and break down news articles and initiatives and things like that to reach out to the people. It's got many, many features that we're rolling out in the next month as well to make it user-friendly and enjoyable for everybody. But yeah, WeSpeak.com is up and running, and it made a big splash.
So tell us about your user profile generally. What's your average user like on your platform?
You know, we have designed something that's good for everybody. We don't care what race, color, creed you are. We don't care what you believe in, because we believe in the freedom of speech. We believe in people having respect the way it used to be, people taking responsibility for their own actions, a self-governing society based on morality. So we're drawing people from all different aspects. We don't shield anybody out. Everybody's welcome, as long as they can follow them 4 basic standards. So you'll see a lot of variety on there.
Great. And so I understand it's not just a social media, but also a platform you have, like start your own campaign, start your own, is it movement type things, right? How does that work?
Well, when you're on there, we have special events and events, just like many other sites that you're familiar with. If you want to have a birthday party, you can have an event that says on Saturday we're having a birthday party for young Tommy and come at 6 o'clock. Or we have special events, charity campaigns, where you can go in there and assign administration help, as many people to help you in different areas as you want them to, and ring in money for the charity. Or you could run a full-fledged campaign. Now, a full-fledged campaign on this site is incredibly massive. You could have as many helpers as you want, assign them as many duties as you want, volunteers, events, a calendar that can go out for multiple years, articles, videos, anything you could imagine that's needed to run a full-fledged campaign, we have it here.
Interesting. And now, I guess from maybe a personal standpoint, what was the issue you saw that made you want to go and start this?
I'll tell you
what was your own experience with that, I guess?
Well, I was frustrated because in the 2014 election cycle, I was really disappointed with the amount of information that was going out that was just misleading and wrong. I saw friends being abused, and then the 2016 cycle was unbelievable. And so I said, that's it, I'm going to do something. We could either complain about it or we can do something. In the free market, the only way I could do something is to build a platform. So what we did is researched and did all the things we found that we didn't like and got rid of them, found all the things we did like and improved on them, and said, okay, let's get a platform that's best for everybody, and that's what we did. But I was mad because I saw people being abused. I saw people flat out lies. Friends of mine that were running for office, that they actually had flat out lies out there. But yet when you tried to combat that, they block us and put us in the X-brand jail.
Yeah, well, and that's one issue we're having now, where they're talking about fake news. And
oh yeah.
There is fake news. There's not, and there's also not just fake news, but also incomplete news, where they're showing you half truths, which, you know, of course you try to point out that that's not a real article or not a real story, and people say, oh well, what about this part? And they point to the half that's true, and they don't hear you out when you try to explain, well, you know, they're leaving out all this other stuff. And also when media try to say, you know, this is the established narrative, how dare you question it? It's something we deal with a lot of epic times where, you know, people are like, how dare you say something outside the established narrative, you know,
tell the truth.
basically.
Who are you?
And, you know, eventually it turns out that what we say is true, and sometimes they just don't acknowledge that. But you know, to be able to say things that go against the grain sometimes means that you know you need to put something out there that people haven't heard before, and maybe goes against what's currently out there. And I think media right now, they're trying to say that anything that does that should not be allowed, which is a really kind of frightening environment. And we see that now with these a lot of these other platforms. I mean, so how do you deal with issues like this?
Well, you know, that's a very good question, and it's important. What I see is, at one time, the media led the community. The media taught the community. They put information out that was based on character and reality. And then it got to where there were the controls, much because of social media, were gone. Stuff just started being floated out there that didn't make any sense. And then instead of the media directing and teaching people what's going on, all of a sudden the media became the tail of the dog. And then now the mob is out there, and it seems like a lot of the media is just pushing what makes the mob happy rather than the truth. And the truth is what needs to get out there. And we just need people like your show and other shows like that, and hopefully our site will do, to put the truth out there in a manner that people can handle and understand it. And I'm sorry if the truth offends you, but life is offensive sometimes. And our job is to get people back on track with the truth.
Great. So where can people find you?
We're at wespeak.com. Any of our flyers, you could scan it, takes you right to the site, and you'll be able to see a lot more of us.
Great. Hey, real pleasure having you on the show. Thank you.
It's an honor. Thank you.
Great. Everyone, please remember to like and subscribe. See you next time.